we're all here to focus attention on a critical issue facing our economy and our national security. This isn't just an educational pursuit, but rather something much bigger and much broader. And our children, our students, are facing a world dramatically different than the world that we faced when we entered it. And what does that mean for them? So I think about things like Uber, Lyft, Facebook, Instagram, Tesla, Apple Watch, Facebook, YouTube, Android, Spotify, Google Maps, Snapchat, LinkedIn, Twitter. But I'm not going to keep this to 140 characters. But the reality is, all those things were invented after our high school students were born. And I think about the pace of and the acceleration of technology. I mean, to think that the iPhone is only 10 years old, and we're getting ready to have the 9th version of the iPhone. We're skipping one. Or to think that the iPad was invented in 2010. And to think about those two products have created a company that's worth today over $800 billion, and over 70% of their revenue comes from those two products that are 7 and 10 years old. Okay. That's just one example. See, this economy is now full of companies that are all tech-enabled. We have companies like GM putting computers in cars, Google making cars. We have Amazon becoming the world's largest bookstore and probably soon to be the largest grocery store. And they're delivering packages with drones. Think about that and the implications for our children. And we're going to automate anything that we can automate in every sector. You see, technology's changed the way we learn, the way we travel, the way we communicate. And it's going to continue to change with things like virtual reality, artificial intelligence, machine learning, advanced automation. But these new ideas and automation, I think about how it's accelerated. So you go back to electricity. Electricity, it took 60 years for all U.S. households to have electricity. It took 30 years for us to have refrigerators, and it took 10 years for us to all have cell phones. Okay. The massive rate of adoption. Patents. In 1967, we had 90,000 patent applications. In 2015, we had 630,000. Okay. The ideas, the way they're coming. Here's what we know about STEM. And I'm going to get really into some of the things even Russ talked about, the integration of all this, but here's what we know. Right? If you want a job, you want to keep it, you want to get paid more, here's where the opportunities are at. Right? And it's just reality. It's the foundation of our economy. I was in South Korea, and I asked students at National University, I said, give me something not connected to STEM. Just give me one example. A young lady raised her hand. She said, babysitting. That was really clever. I said, so are you talking about that multi-billion-dollar industry of baby food, baby formula, diapers, and toys, and car seats? And she said, yeah, that's the one. I said, we make all that stuff. This is all. We make it all. We manufacture that stuff. So I was at another school, and I asked the same question. A student looked at me, and he said, tacos. And then I went through the whole food supply chain. And even how we order at Taco Bell and the technology that's used. So for us, though, this raises a bigger question. It's like, what does this mean for our students? It's easy to talk about it, but then what does it really mean in a classroom? How do we make sense of all of this? This isn't about discrete subjects. This isn't about teaching science down one hallway and engineering and math down another hallway. That's not the way the world works. This all has to be integrated. Okay? Howard Gardner says the greatest deficit for American students is their inability to learn and apply learning in a context in which it wasn't learned. We teach things in isolation. And then we get into discussions like, is it STEM or STEAM or is it something else? We keep adding to the acronym, we're going to get school. Okay? In fact, we have to look at how all these are integrated. How are we to apply math and science to real-world challenges? Real-world application. And how do we make learning relevant for our students? We cannot believe as a nation that we can test our students to excellence. We have to inspire them. We have to help them understand what they're learning today really matters. That's connected to real-world examples. I learned about something about relevancy at a very early age, and I have 4 sons, and it was my third son who was in preschool, and his teacher called me and said, Dr. Bertram, we have a real concern about Drew. He's not doing well in math. I'm like, well, Drew is 3. And what's the problem? Well, I asked him a question today. He didn't know the answer. I said, what was the question? He said, Drew, if you have 12 pencils and I take 4 away, how many pencils will you have remaining? And my son looked at his teacher and said, who cares? I only need 1 pencil. For him, it wasn't about math. It was about relevancy. By the way, he's majoring in finance right now at Purdue University. I think he's doing fine in math. Right? But it's all about relevancy. We can't tell our students, the reason you need to learn this is because it's going to be on a test on Friday. We need to show them how this applies to the real world. And we have to start early. This isn't about a drop-in experiment in high school or even middle school. We have to start in preschool. We have to engage our students at a very early age and help them understand that these are important skills that they need for great careers and great opportunity. And it has to have currency. What I mean by that is, I think about like the SAT or the ACT. We've all taken it, one of them, or both of them. Did you guys take one? Why did you do that? Oh, really? Would you have taken it had college and universities not required it? Yeah. You wouldn't do it for fun, would you? All right, I know, because it wasn't fun. But see, that was the currency of it. It mattered to someone. And we do it. How do we take this educational pursuit and help our children understand the currency? Why it really matters. This is not about getting into college. This is about having great careers and great opportunities. It's about career learning. Okay? And exposing students to so many opportunities, but also helping them understand that it's about developing high-demand transportable skills. Skills that really matter. Things like problem-solving, critical thinking, communication, collaboration. Today, you can't survive in this economy if you don't know how to work together. Okay? And these are skills to be learned. I hear people say, well, people are born with these innate skills. That's not true. It's really not true. Right? No one was born playing the piano. Right? But we gave them the tool, and we let them practice. And there are things that we can get good at. Everything is hard if we're not good at it. I can go on a golf course and watch people play really well. And I don't play because I'm not good at it. And I'm not willing to practice at it. But we practice and we can get good. And it's also about how we counsel students. And that's one of the reasons I wrote this book. Okay? I just hear it all the time. I see it. And people say, well, in the absence of other conversations, we say, just follow your dreams and everything will work out. The reality is that is not true. It's just irrational advice. Or people give commencement addresses to college graduates. Just follow your passions, follow your dreams. After $200,000 investment and $100,000 in debt, now you're going to follow your dreams. Right? Why aren't we having these conversations with our children at a much earlier age? Why aren't we helping them and providing information so they can make informed decisions and pursue things that will lead to great opportunities and great careers? But the reality is so many of these opportunities are eliminated because of the things they're not doing at an early age. Children learn whether they're good in math and science as early as 2nd grade. We turn them off to these subjects. The reality, they're not going to pursue a college major requiring a lot of math and science. They avoid it. And when they do, so many career opportunities are shut off to them. But this isn't about discouraging them from dreaming. It's really about challenging them to dream differently and to think smarter about the opportunities. So they go off to college, and again, all these things many of these opportunities are shut off. So, they need to make informed decisions. And they need to know it before they start an expensive exploration project that costs them $500 or $1,000 a credit hour. Today we have 44 million Americans with $1.3 trillion in student loan debt. We have millions of people unemployed, underemployed, people leaving the job market because they don't have the skills in this economy. We can do better. But I'm wondering, and I wonder often, will students do better? Will they excel at certain subjects that they know they were necessary for exciting, enduring careers? See, too many students do it backwards. They learn how to do school. They get through, they check the boxes, then they try to find out what they're good at, and they pursue that. I'm suggesting we should do that in a different way. Help them get good at a lot of things so that those opportunities are available to them. And then we hear things like, education is this great equalizer. See, I don't believe that at all. I think education is the great differentiator. We get an education to get ahead, to differentiate ourselves. And the market discriminates. It discriminates in serious ways. Okay? And we want our children to take advantage of those opportunities, not to become a human commodity. And at PLTW, that's why we exist. It's really what we do. See, our mission is to empower students to thrive in this global economy, okay? To provide an engaging, inspiring, and empowering student experience for our students. And we continue to grow. Over the last several years, we've grown now to well over 10,000 schools, over 13,000 programs, millions of students, thousands of teachers. Okay? And we're getting great outcomes, great results. But in addition, we have to continue to eliminate barriers to access. We have to increase student participation and help them understand what this really looks like. Okay? There's so many barriers, and we challenge ourselves every day at PLTW. And I ask this question: how many barriers have we created? What stands in the way of our students getting this kind of experience? And how do we eliminate those barriers? Another goal for us is to transform teaching and to really think about this teaching experience for our teachers. And how do we allow teachers to teach in an activity project-based classroom? Okay? And I've heard this discussion and a number of questions that have come up around teaching, and I also have a position on this. Yeah, it's learning to teach differently. I think we are kidding ourselves if we think we're going to dramatically change the teaching profession without addressing compensation. I just think it's a big deal. Is it number one for some? Yeah, I was a former urban school superintendent, and if you've ever gone through teacher negotiations, you realize that salary does matter. Okay? It matters a lot. And if we're going to recruit our best and brightest, we have to compensate them accordingly. But we also have to give them the other experiences. We have to make sure that teaching matters to them, that they understand what they're doing and why they're doing it. Okay? And then the fourth thing, from an organizational perspective, is we have to continue to build an enterprise that supports thousands of schools across this country. That's why we work with great partners, okay, so that we can support schools. It's not a matter of just selling a program and getting into a school. It's what that means and how do we ensure that's an enduring experience for those teachers and those students. This work is really important. It is an absolute critical piece for our economy, our national security, and for our students' future. And those who do this right are going to be the ones who win, whether it's at a local level, state, regional, or a national level. So, this is exciting work. We have to inform our students. One of my sons came home from school one day, not too long ago, right before he started college, and he said, "Dad, we had a great day." He said, "We read a report out of Georgetown University today, and it said the highest paying jobs in America are in science, technology, engineering, mathematics. Did you know that?" And it just struck me. And my question was, didn't you? And I think about my son making that statement. And how many children across America don't have that kind of experience, that opportunity, and that kind of daily dialogue? Okay. So what do we have to do for all of them? We have to give them great information. We have to inspire our nation. Thank you for all that each of you do. Thank you.